see. Okay, that was 14 hours ago. Let me see, I'm seeing if they're, because usually they do the, you know, Destiny servers will be down for maintenance, sort of, kinda. So let's see. Let me see, maybe I close game. Because I don't think we closed the game. So we're gonna close game and then open it up. Let's try this again. Of course, well, I mean, I don't know what happened. And you know what's really frustrating about that? You know what's really frustrating about this? Is that did we win? No, the last one we lost. I just hate that accidental disconnections like will get your will just like completely just like wipe it out, like wipe out all the progress you made and just like, oh nope, you're restarting. And it's like that was an accidental disconnection. What the heck? I'm sorry that there's a possibility that someone hit me offline. But it's okay. Just as much like all of the progress that we, you know, made, we'll just make again. How about that? Okay. Do you like this one, Radiant Cliffs? I do. This was actually the map that we were able, I mean, it was Trials map. It is Trials map. But this was the map that we were able to secure our 3-win, actually with the bow loadout. Which is very crazy to me, you know? keep on forgetting. Fully drawn bow in melee. Fully drawn bow in melee is one hit, but for some reason, one hit Ariana's Vow in melee doesn't hit the same. Yeah, go ahead and put that on down. Thank you for having my back, teammate. I was about to say, how in the world did I get frozen from that? But I did not. I think I just got slowed. I kind of deserve that. If I'm being upfront and honest, I kind of deserve that. That's fine. Perfect. I mean, we didn't, you know, we don't have to do the whole, oh, let's make sure that we, you know, preserve our life. I kind of hate that. I kind of hate the whole, you know, and so, I mean, some people do it a lot more than, you know, what other people do. But I just hate the whole let's preserve our life, especially when it's against like a challenging enemy. Like, I just feel like when it's challenging, when they are challenging, you know, that's the time that we should really be trying to, you know, try to get like our skills better in a sense. Like, I feel like, you know, if it's a matter of, well, let's, you know, like if it's a matter of, you know, like placement and figuring out where our better placement should be, I feel like that's a that is a better kind of like position to be in. That's why, okay. So basically, if the bow is not fully drawn, then the combo doesn't work. Which makes sense. That's not completely unheard of, where it's, you know, they're like, well, what happened there, you know? We've all got our supers. I mean, he tried to avoid it. Alright, yep, no, there's no way that combo is going to work there. There we go. for once. Like, honestly, I cannot wait for Shatter Dive to whatever's going to happen to Shatter Dive. I cannot wait for that to happen. Hopefully, they give it the treatment like they've been giving every other thing in Destiny. Like, not even just the, it's not even just like, oh, you know, because I've posted on Reddit before about, the whole, like, I did a whole, like, oh, taking bets to see, you know, how long it takes for them to address Shatter Dive. And the fact that, you know, the penumbra blast for Warlock, it took them 3 days to say, hey, we understand this may be just a little bit overpowered, so here's what we're gonna do. And I believe they like nerfed it, like the actual patch went out for that next week. I just want to see like what's kind of like the plan for what is the plan for Shatter Dive. Like, I know some people aren't exactly happy with the way, like, they aren't happy with the language of Shatter Dive. Like, them saying, oh, it's going to take them a couple weeks. And I feel like, you know, yeah, depending on, y'all do that. I should just kept on running. That's my fault. But yeah, it's like, I understand a lot of other people were not happy with the fact that they said, you know, the, you know, changes to Shatter Dive in the next couple of, in the upcoming weeks. I feel like that is, there's that standard, you know, language that they like to use to like make sure that they're kind of like protected and not held to a specific time frame. Because a lot of times, like, if something else is more important, plus it's like I feel like we're approaching the second half of the season. So, you know, there's, you know, like the typical change update that, you know, typically happens. Okay, I swear that combo hit him, but it's fine. But yeah, we're getting into that next part of the season where, you know, they have like the, oh, here's the standard season, and then here's like the season finale where they change something up. We are approaching that time, so I feel like, you know, they just want to make sure to protect themselves and say, hey, you know, we will address Shatter Dive, but if something breaks, if something in our, you know, we want to make sure this is, you know, taken care of. If this becomes more important, we will, you know, have to address that first. Hey, finally. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we didn't have any more special ammo anymore. So, I mean, there's really nothing much we could do in that situation anyway, even if we were to, like, be in a good position to get a, combo shot off. Okay. Oh, come on. Like, he has a scout rifle, like, just jump. Like, that's the secret there. Jump out of the way. Don't just stand there. There you are. Yeah, that is super frustrating. Like, come on. He is like, he was super low, insanely low. Did he really have like a hand cannon scout? Like, he has Crimson Scout, like... I'm not worried. I'm just really disappointed in how that ended. Where is the rest of the team? Like, there's nothing else to attack. There's no Oh, he uses Daybreak. Great. Nice of him to think he was going to get that kill. Very nice of him to think that he was going to get that. That's that kind of conviction that you need when you're with the Crucible and you're trying to get everything all good to go. That's what you need. Are we going to get back to Mythic 2? Thank you. I wish there was a better way for us to understand how exactly to know when we are kind of just like hit offline completely, you know, like how to properly identify just that whole, oh, I definitely know that I was hit offline, you know, or DDoSed. okay. I just went back up to Mythic 2. It shouldn't be that much difficult to you know. How did you like the Dawning event? Get any good rolls on anything? The Dawning event was pretty good. I did enjoy. I mean, it's one of those I enjoy whenever they have like, you know, little extra things for you to do. I wish I kind of did a little bit more with, you know, baking cookies. And, you know, I feel like in those kind of things, I really feel like in those kind of events or those kind of like limited time events, I feel like you have to give the community something to strive for. Like, I get it. I understand they want to embrace, you know, the whole community, and, you know, it's like we don't want to single, you know, people out or achievements and accomplishments and anything. We want to celebrate the community as a whole. But I feel like one of the major problems is like, what are we working towards? The game is called Destiny, and the tagline is become legend. Side of world's first, there is no acknowledgement of, you know, legendary things that we've done. There is no, you know, congratulations on literally anything except for world's first raid. I feel like in an effort to make sure that everyone feels, you know, like for people to feel like, oh, okay, I have become legend doing this one thing, like find those like those accomplishments that on Bungie side they can, you know, really bring out and, you know, embrace and say like, this is something that, you know, we acknowledged, and, you know, this is something legendary. Like it doesn't have to be like a major thing, you know, like even though, you know, like world's first and, you know, those things, like, yeah, that's fine, but like, why don't you do a, you know, someone who baked the most cookies, you know, it's like so and so is legendary for, you know, bringing the Dawning, you know, spreading the most Dawning cheer for 2020. That goes out to this person, you know, at least it shows. It's like, okay, you know, for some people, you know, they're like, oh, I don't need, you know, recognition from Bungie or anything, but it helps. It makes you feel like you're working towards something outside of game too. Which I feel like if it's that sort of thing, especially because Bungie is really good with, you know, community acknowledgement and, you know, just making sure that, you know, the community like feels like the community actually feels like a community. Doing things like that, I feel like would be a great step forward. Like, even if it's just as simple as acknowledgement. I'm not asking for, you know, a world, like a raid belt or, you know, like a Dawning belt every time, but like, you know, exclusive items. I feel like that's one of the things that, you know, a lot of people kind of like are, you know, what am I working towards? What am I working towards? And I'm like, if you're telling me that it takes a month to think of a design for an exclusive emblem, then there's a problem there. That is a major problem that, you know, y'all should probably acknowledge. You know, that your team can't even come up with like an exclusive item. Like I think that's the whole thing, you know. Not to echo off of, you know, what other major content creators have said, you know, about like, oh, this past raid, and, you know, it's like it kind of felt like a handout to them personally. But yeah, I just feel like, again, there's nothing for anyone to really work towards, and it doesn't always have to be loot. Yes, loot is amazing. If they did have like special loot that they wanted to give out, then that's fine. But in the essence of balancing and, you know, weapon, like exclusive weapons is one thing, but a simple emblem of the most baked, you know, cookies for the Dawning for 2020, that would definitely get people playing multiple times, you know, like multiple days. shots hit him. I don't understand what happened there, but okay. I know that was kind of like a long-winded answer to how'd you like the dawning event? But I think it's, you know, that is I think that's, you know, what Bungie's missing from like these limited time events. You know, definitely I agree. It would give weight to the event after getting decent rolls on the weapons I wanted to check out. And that's it, you know? And especially for people where they're like, I don't like fusion rifles. I don't want to get the same loot that I have. You know, there's like these triumphs that we have. And once you finish that, it's like, okay, there's really nothing to do with the event anymore. So what am I supposed to do? You know, what is the point of baking all these cookies when I have a god root? An exclusive emblem, a chance at an exclusive emblem. And even though I know that some people will say, well, then some people are going to cheat for that. You know, some people are going to, you know, share an account and grind for that. Yes, that will happen. That does happen. So have several different things. Like, is someone going to, you know, it's like it's hard to explain because it's just more of like, okay, if you know things are happening and you know those kind of things, like, you know those kind of things are happening and you know which accounts are like notable for doing that, like, you can check it, you know? Like, if the person has not been if the person has like non-stop been playing for, come on, if the person has been playing like non-stop for all 3 weeks, then you know they've been, you know, they've been sharing their account. Disqualify them. But can I mention how much I cannot wait for them to do something about Shatter Dive? Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but I can't wait for something to be done. Yeah, that was stupid on my part. Do I want to why not? I have no faith that the team is going to yeah, I don't have any faith that the team is going to actually secure this, so we'll try it out. We'll you know, see if this is good. Your answer is perfect. As details an issue a lot with these holiday events, and that's it. It's, you know, like, cause I get it. I understand. Like, I'm active on Twitter, and I know that there was, you know, there was like one person, I'm not sure if they're like a notable content creator or just like if they just create content, or, you know, that whole situation, but they basically posted something very simplistic and just repeated they don't feel valued as a PvP player in Destiny. And another individual basically like took that kind of like that what they posted and was like, oh, well, this is not the way, to basically saying this is not the way that you ask for change, essentially, because of the fact it's like it's not detailed. You need to, you know, with any criticism, you need to, you know, like, explain why you don't feel valued. And their whole thing was, and they responded back and was like, this is the issue. When we do detail, you know, the issues that we have with Destiny and, you know, its approach to PvP, no one listens to us, you know? My team got wiped in a well because of Shatter Dive. That whole thing, let me finish my, I'm like, let me finish the other one before I get into this, because I could get sidetracked easily. they were saying the issue is every time we detail like an issue with that we have with Destiny in terms of PvP, no one listens. We detail it and say, hey, this is why this feels wrong. This is why we want this to change, and no one says anything. But then when we get very broad and it's just like, well, I don't feel valued as a PvP player, all of a sudden that's when, you know, their opinions and everything get seen. So it's not as if no one is really, you know, it's not as if everyone's not being specific. It's just like you guys aren't hearing them when they're like, hear me, listen to me, please. But in terms of like Shadowdive, like I feel like it's actually not just Shadowdive, but just the whole approach to PvP, like super balancing. Like, what is the hierarchy and what is the explanation of why any kind of stasis frozen attack or any stasis any stasis like shatter attack against like any kind of frozen enemy, why is that more superior than a super? You know, so like what will happen, so like I've noticed what can happen is like, say I pop my super as a warlock, if not just a hunter but if a titan freezes me and then slides into me, that's a one-hit knockout. Why? What makes stasis that much powerful that it can it basically has priority over any other super? And if that is the case, what is the point of using any light-based super if clearly stasis is more superior? Like, you can't, like, what is the approach behind that is more what I want. What is the approach, like, what is the reasoning behind, like, is it because, okay, this is a darkness subclass? Like, is there like a reason? Like, who is making these shots? Because that is another issue. We don't know who is making these changes to PvP. Now, could that possibly be intentional? Maybe, because Josh Hamrick and Wisniewski, those were the face first people, like the face front people for PvP. And when there was issues with that, like people knew who to go to, who to look at when, you know, changes in the PvP happen, and could kind of get like a good sense of the philosophy behind why they're making those changes. Now, whether or not they like them, that's a completely different issue, but at least the community knew. I'm not going to go to DMG and say, hey, this feels wrong with PvP and Crucible, and they're like, well, I'll pass it back to the team. Who are you passing it back to? And why is that person not addressing us and saying, hey, this is our approach to PvP? Joe Gogoroth, who is, I think he got promoted to like a higher level of like Destiny, and like I think in like creating the whole world essentially. But when he was the raid lead, occasionally he would go through and say, hey, here's the philosophy that we have behind like designing raid encounters, behind designing the full raid. We don't want it to just be a linear, you know, you start out easy and then you go hard. Like, we wanted to go like this. We wanted to be on a wavelength so that at different points there's a different challenge. And it actually explained the philosophy behind it, and explained why in this most recent raid, the Deepstone Crypt, why Atrax is harder than Taniks at the end, because it has that kind of like that arc of, okay, you've reached the point where this should be the hardest point of the raid, and then as you reach Taniks, yes, he's not, you know, he's not super easy, but he's not hard, because we want there to be like that sort of balance and keep people, you know, in the raid for the longest part, make them feel that, you know, they've you know, succeeded in a significant challenge, and keep them going to the end, because they know at that end point you pass the hardest part of the raid. We have none of that for PvP. We used to have that, but we don't have any of that. The last thing that I can remember is when what's his name when Deej was back at Destiny and was like, I just want to make sure that everyone knows we have a PvP team that's really making sure that PvP feels good in Destiny. Who is that team? Who is the forefront person on that team? Who can we talk to understand what the community is saying about PvP? We don't know that. Therefore, no PvP player feels heard, feels seen, because the only person who's acknowledging this is the community managers, which are then just throwing them back to the team. And then we're left with wondering, well, now what? And then you get some people where, you know, now we're getting back into the conversation of, well, Destiny is not a PvP game, it's more of a PvE game. I saw another one where they were saying, one person was speculating that, you know, another one of Bungie's products, another game that they're working on is like a PvP based game. So they're putting a lot of focus on that and not so much in PvP to kind of like incentivize or like get everyone ready to, you know, like your PvP mains go on over to this game for PvP. I really disagree with that because I feel like at least for me, I wouldn't understand why they would want to segment the base like that. Like, it's one of those, yes, there's some people, like you have some people who are mainly PvP, and then you have some people who are mainly PvE, and then other people who are on the fringe. Like, if there is, like, you know, if there are people where it's like people who are PvP mains, I feel like this. If there are people who really enjoy the PvP aspect of the game, but will play PvE content to kind of like supplement that when they're not really feeling like PvP, then they'll do PvE content because they're fine with that. Why would you take those people away in creating a PvP based game? Because you're taking the people who play Destiny solely for PvP, and then those French people who, you know, a lot of them migrate over to PvE. If there is a PvP offering that they actually are looking for, you're taking away a lot of the base. And I feel like for a lot of people where they're like, oh, you know, it's, you know, if PvP were to be gone, you know, it will still have a lot more people to play. You will have a lot more people to play the regular content, but those same people who they think, oh yeah, these are PvE mains, they're not doing raids, they're not doing challenging content. Like, it's not helpful. Like, basically, at the end of the day, it's not helpful to divide the community in a way to where it's like, oh, well, you know, there's this PvP person, there's this PvE person. It just doesn't make sense. And a big issue with that as well is a lot of people seem to have this idea, right, I've seen several PvE panels talking about quitting Destiny this week. The PvE community is almost half the base, it seems, so I hope this Thursday they have some answers in the tab. Honestly, they won't. They won't. Their focus will be on I feel like their focus will be on assuring the community that they're heard, that they see the conversations being had about PvP, that they're working on it. But there will be no notable mention of here's exactly what we will be doing. Here's what we will be doing to kind of address that. There won't be. So I really hope that no one gets their hopes up for an accomplishment of that, or any mention of that, because it won't happen. Now, one surprising thing they could do is they can introduce, as I, you know, went on my mini rant about, they can introduce who is kind of like spearheading the whole PvP element of Destiny 2, kind of introduce them and give them like a little paragraph and say, you know, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm, you know, basically like the PvP head. Here's our philosophy of what we want Destiny 2 PvP to be. We understand, you know, that there's something about stasis and, you know, it doesn't, yeah, I'm thinking they won't do an overhaul until next season, if that. No, because next season, I feel like they already finished next season. Like, don't get me wrong, they've already finished next season. I feel like the way that they have it, they already know kind of like what's going to go on there. So that's already done. I'd say next year there will be something, but there will also potentially be another subclass that they introduce with the Witch Queen. So that's something, you know. They're in a frozen rift. If you don't get in there, it's just the whole the development cycle is a very weird and funky one, which everyone understands, but it's just like don't just let us know. Oh, we saw the feedback, we're seeing the feedback, like let us know, like let's just be blunt, like is it something you're going to fix or no? That's all I want. Because y'all know certain things you're not going to fix. Like, you see that there's certain things that the community is very, like, passionate about, and they're just like, you know, are you going to fix this? Are you not? And Bungie knows they're either going to fix certain things and not fix certain things. Just let us know so we can stop complaining about it. I'm like, I think that's a good, that would be a good philosophy, you know? And I understand it's a whole, you know, community thing, and they want to make sure the community's heard and everything and stuff, but it's so frustrating, at least to me, it's so frustrating for when the community starts talking about, you know, like a certain thing, or they're like, you know, oh, well, there's this, we have this issue, we have that issue, and we keep bringing it up. And then like 3 months later, Bungie finally says, okay, well, we're not exactly going to make a steady change to that, but we're going to do this instead, you know? There we go. It's like we're going to make a steady change, or the kind of things that we have in mind addresses directly that, you know, so we're not going to, you know, talk about it so much. We're not going to talk about it entirely too much because the changes coming to the game, stay tuned for that, you know, because then that at least lets us know, okay, they're going to address it in a certain way. But sometimes they won't even do. It's, as I always say, it's not just communication that they need to work on, or, you know, it's something that everyone needs to work on, but it's not just communication, it's how you communicate. I kinda hate it the way that happened, but you know what? It's cool. I was about to say, this Titan is just, oh, what is your favorite raid? My favorite raid of all time is Last Wish. In terms of not just mechanics, like it's Last Wish, and then immediately following that is the Taken King raid, King's Fall. That's it. I was like, I know it has an actual name, is it? But I love Last Wish because not just were the mechanics great, but it's one of the first times where the way that the raid, like the whole raid encounter and the whole purpose of the raid, that raid gave meaning to Destiny, you know? Not just to Destiny, but like in particular, it gave meaning to that season, to that expansion. You know, it's like, hey, you know, where you want to beat this raid, because I have no idea what happened there, but okay. but yeah, with that raid, it's like, you know, thinking about the way that, you know, how Bungie, like someone at Bungie had to stay up, or they had to have shifts so that once the raid actually was finished, they had to, you know, really activate the Dreaming City, you know? It was one of those where it's like there is a significant importance as to what happened, you know, after the raid. It was just honestly just one of those like really amazing things where, you know, it was beyond the raid. The importance of the Last Wish is beyond just the raid itself. And I feel like all the other raids, not saying that there's anything wrong with it or anything, but I felt like all of the other raids were kind of like self-contained, in which, you know, it's like, and actually having a big effect on how Guardians interact with Destiny, you know? Yes. Back to Mythic 2. We just keep going back and forth. Back and forth, which is, it's fine. It's okay. Dawn. So yeah, what I am expecting for, definitely the best D2 raid. Definitely. And in terms of just like, you know, in terms of what's going on with the world, and you know, it was like an Ahamkara, which I remember, so it's like the very I remember in Destiny 1, this was like the first year that Destiny came out, like Destiny 1 there was like that mentioning of an Ahamkara, and everyone was like, oh, there's dragons in Destiny, when are we gonna see that? And I remember on Venus, like someone did a video where in a certain spot, it was like a certain spot on Venus, or yeah, I believe it was on Venus, there was like a wing, you could see like out in the distance, there was like this winged creature flying, but it was out in the distance. And I remember someone was like, is this an Ahamkara? And then fast forward years later, and you see what an actual Ahamkara looks like, and you're just like, okay, that little winged little creature thing was not an Ahamkara. It's just with the way that all of that went down, and the design of the raid and everything, it was nice. And I feel like what a lot of people, like especially with what happened with the Deepstone Crypt, you know, with a lot of people being able to access, you know, to do the raid within that first, you know, the within that, you know, first 24-hour block. I think what a lot of people are trying to get at, a lot of creators who are like, oh, you know, the raid needs to be harder, or, you know, it's, you know, some people, you know, it feels like this was a handout. There's no important, there's no, not that there's no importance to it, but the feeling of I accomplished something, like I feel legendary, diminishes when there is a reward. So like in the reward tier that everyone can get, it's kind of like if you do like a bar graph. So if you have a piece of loot that everyone can get, it's like the incentive or the feeling of accomplishment is low. And so you go up this, theoretical grid, and the more exclusive the reward is, the more of an accomplished feeling the player gets when they get it. An example, the Last Wish raid. Like, for the Last Wish, that raid was hard. They did not save any punches. Like, they did not pull, they were pulling all the punches. They were like, just when you think this is nice, like literally the vault encounter, no one knew how to do it. The people who were able to actually do it, they just guessed. Like, it was just like a, well, damn it, it's working, let's go for it. Like, no one knew how to do the vault encounter. And then that led to the point to where, like, at the end, only 2 fire teams, like that 24-hour emblem, only 12 people have it. Of course, those same people are going to feel like there is an exclusive emblem that only 12 people have, and fast forward that to now a couple of tens of thousands of people have this emblem. It doesn't feel special. Now, I feel like they should have just said that. There was a way for them to say that and acknowledge that, but at the same time, they would have, definitely opened themselves up to criticism of, this game is, this game isn't made for you to feel special all the time, but it's like, should have made it. That's the point of a game, though, that is destiny and says become legend. Like, how the hell do I become legend then? And if it's up to me to define how I become legend, then what is the point of celebrating good accomplishments? As they all do. Alright. I think Scourge was my favorite raid. It was just so much fun to me. Didn't feel like a raid. And that's it too. I think Scourge, the way that was, it introduced some different elements. It was definitely a fun raid. I will say that. But again, not that there's a problem with it. Just going to Last Wish is still hard. That's why we skip straight to Riven. Exactly. And so, but that's the thing also. It's like, when you think about it, it's like even skipping to Riven and never doing the Riven fight the way that it is intended to do. Like, I really think Bungie understands, like, the reason why they didn't patch up that way to do Riven. They didn't patch up the energy because her health, because if they did, no one would do Last Wish. No one would bother anymore. Dang it. Let me switch to this handy dandy loadout, because I don't like the way that they're playing. But yeah, that was just what I was saying about Scourge. It was, it didn't have that impact on the world. It was like, yes, it unlocked certain things, but I feel like they only grasped that after the success from Last Wish. Like, understanding that, there needs to be world significance beyond, hey, you completed the raid, get this loot. Like, what is the point? Like, after that, what is the point? Oh, see, open season, speak to Crow on the Tangled Shore. Okay, there is other things going on in the game. There we go. At least we got that. So actually, after we finish this, we're gonna go ahead and see Crow and see what that's all about.
One minute. You're neck and neck on reserves. Good. Show your enemy what a real fight looks like.
Dang it. I hate being in that situation like that. That's one of the things I hate. Oh, we got something new for Crow. It's probably in, I'm like 90% sure it's that 7th perk where it says, oh, unlocked all 7, there's like 7 nodes for the lore. But up until where I'm speculating, up until now, there's only been 6. Why would he? There we go. I was like, why would he just stay in there? I'll have to live vicariously through you till I get off work. Hated doing that. Like, that's me. Like, I have a full-time job as well. But because I really enjoy streaming and, you know, all of that, that's why I, like, seriously, is no one else going to stay with me? Like, is no one else going to, like, show up in the middle? Like, come on. Took him long enough. But yeah, that's why I had to kind of like switch the streams, and not even kind of, I switched my stream schedule from late night to the morning so that I could capitalize on, you know, showing other, you know, other working people and other people in general, like, this is what happens, you know, this is what's going on. Oh, nice. Die. Oh, come on. I was about to say, all right, someone's gotta help me. Someone's gotta help me. Appreciate you, homie. Well, I appreciate that you appreciate me. And so because of that, I also appreciate you. Let's do... want to talk about it. Definitely do not want to talk about that. What's going on? Like, okay, I get it. There's no excuse for what happened with the super. I should have just pushed in just a little bit more. I think I was just afraid that I was afraid that his super was going to like extend to me. And then that's why that happened. But also, I feel like teammates for a reason. So everyone else has an instant shatter. That's also another thing that I just get so frustrated at. Everyone else has an instant shatter, like an instant shatter ability that has nothing to do, has absolutely nothing to do with their super. And the only shatter ability that the Warlock has is in their super, which doesn't even count as an actual shatter. going back to the whole bow combo because it's just the way that the enemy team is playing. It's like there's certain things where I'm like, they're not playing well. It's like they're not playing well, and I don't know. Not the bow. Maybe I do. What am I doing? Yeah, let's do that. All three of my characters, it feels the weakest right now. I think they nerf Warlock too hard. They always nerf Warlock too hard, though. That's something different. I definitely agree, but Warlock always gets hit the hardest because they, you know, the community speaks out, oh, Warlock can, you know, melee people from like very far. Well, let's make it so that they can't melee very far and do it so that it's very short. Why? Like, why? It makes absolutely no sense. Why their instant thing is, well, let's just completely nerf the like, let's just completely nerf the Warlock's, I guess, like, viability. And in there, and I've talked about this before, even in that whole sense of let's nerf the Warlock, why is it only the Warlock that gets the nerf, you know? Like, didn't you, I guess, like, when you like play tested it, or you like tested it between all three Stasis characters, there must have been a reason why you decided Warlock's nerf is going to, you know, Warlock's, you know, Penumbra Blast is comparable to like this Hunter's ability, or, you know, something like that. So I just don't understand, when you make change to one ability, you don't backscale that and say, hey, we made this because of this. So now we're changing this, which means that we should be able... Wow. Dude, you didn't. I was like, you didn't even get the kill. Like, why are you rushing to take the special ammo? Y'all, I wasn't even, I'm not even going to. That match was just a mess and a half. Whatever. Let's see what the Crow wants us to do, and then we'll probably do one more match to get us back to... They pulled the trigger too fast on that nerf, because most people didn't even have Shatter Dive unlocked by the time they nerfed the Warlock. I think it would have balanced out. Yes. Let me just see. Yeah, so we'll definitely do another match before we end the stream, and hopefully get back up to number 2 to get to Mythic 2. Coup de grace mission now available. Deal the final blow. Crow has tracked Zevul Roth's High Celebrant to the Dreaming City. Destroy it to stop the creation of new Wrathborn once and for all. Ooh, all right. Let's go see Crow and see what that's all about. Here's the thing about them pulling the trigger on the nerf. I do agree. I agree with that. But it's always the... Cause you saw we all know what happened when we got the High Celebrant and Iron Banner. Yeah, I mean, Iron Banner for me is like, okay, we get extra pinnacles, but again, it goes back to what we were talking about before, T Davis. After you hit 1260, what is the point? After 1260 is hit for the season, pinnacles don't matter. because not only do your, you know, your pinnacles drop at 1260, but your high, like those high power engrams, what are those? Like if we go destination, like your power for gear engrams drop at 1260 as well. So what is the point of doing Iron Banner, especially when some of the especially when the items that you're like the gear, the Iron Banner gear that you're trying to get, everyone already got. Now, one thing that I wish they would have kept, but not make it so not made it so that it's like something that you had to do. I finally hit 1260 on all 3 characters this week with Iron Banner. I've only hit 1260 on my Warlock. On my other characters, I'm on my Titan, I'm like 1259, and then my Hunter is like 1258 and like 5/8. Pro shuffles esoteric gadgets around his workbench. We're on the verge of the coup de grace. I've tracked the High Celebrant to the Dreaming City, but the lure will need to be upgraded one last time before we can make our move. The Lightbearer holds up one of the strange baubles and examines it closely. Here it is, the final piece. Pro smiles. Well then, like Spider always says, we're in business. Upgrade the lure one last time. Unlocks access to the Hive Celebrant for Zebu Arath. I mean, yeah, we've done that. The lure can now be configured to hunt the Hive Celebrant, but one last step remains. Okay, so it's not as if we can just go and just fight him. Okay.
My most productive guardian. Have you heard?
I'm gonna turn this down
The
some.
Crow reports our High Celebrant is finally within reach. Warlock Osiris have used what you've learned on your huts to track it to the Dreaming City. A hunter, exemplary, an emblematic paragon. Makes me wonder why I needed you. I jest, of course. Though I have to admit, I carry some trepidation.
Oh, he mad.
My pet stands at your shoulder like an equal. Your encouragement makes him think himself a guardian. The vanity.
Because he
Do not let him
is.
so close, or spoil him with pretty dreams. Kill the High Celebrant. Break Zebu Arath's hold over my shore, and you can claim any prize in my lair as your reward. You'll have earned it.
I feel like I know what is going to happen. I don't want to say it, but I feel like I know what's going to happen. Spider is pleased. Your pursuit of Zebu Arath's most trusted devotee has paid off, as the Hive Celebrant has been tracked to the Dreaming City, and you now have what you need to end their reign of terror. Travel to the Dreaming City and eliminate the Hive Celebrant. Well, first, before I do that, let's pick up these rewards.
Fine selection. Oh, you have
It's
an eye.
not, I see a conflict coming with Spider and Pro. Oh yeah,
Good choice, man.
yeah. There's definitely. Okay, there's that. The lure can now be configured. Obtain the. What did it say? Obtain the Celebrant's coordinates from Spider. We did, and it's in the Dreaming City.
Is this for the crystal barrels?
It's the Shadow. So do we? I'm wondering, do we do just like a regular one and then we're able to get it, or do we? Okay. Oh. Requires the High Celebrant's coordinates from Spider. Didn't we already get those though? This is frustrating. Plus. All right. So we finished that lore book. We did speak to Spider. I don't understand. I don't understand what they want from me. They're saying, oh, get the coordinates from Spider. I did. I talked to him. He did his own lecture and everything. Why didn't we get the coordinates from there? All right. But if we go here, finish that lore book, finish that. And then I'm guessing the secret triumph is, it's either defeat the Hive Celebrant here, or we have to defeat the Hive Celebrant multiple times there. Right, now let's go back. Can I get the coordinates now, please? Okay.
Most productive guardian. Have you heard? The Crow reports our
Did we
Hive
already watch
Celebrant
all this though?
is finally within reach.
Yeah.
Warlock Osiris.
There you go. Spiders
Have
is
used
please.
what
Travel
you've
to the
learned
and
on your
eliminate.
hunts to track
There
it to
we
the
go.
Dreaming City.
Configure the lure to hunt Hive Celebrant, then complete the coup de grace mission in the Dreaming City. Okay.
An emblematic
I don't know why we didn't get that before, but that's fine.
I jest, of course.
Obtain armor obtained from a Wrathborn will roll with something. What?
Trepidation.
Oh.
My pet stands
Yeah,
at your
armor obtained
shoulder.
from a Wrathborn will roll with high overall
Your
stats. Okay.
encouragement makes him think himself a
Okay,
god.
that's cool.
Keep an eye
So we're
on
gonna
my
go here. Go here. There we go. Coup de grace, and we need... We're going to need this. Okay. Perfect.
Remember, the Celebrant must be killed in the Ascendant Plane.
Okay,
Destroy it,
okay.
and you will deal Zivor Wrath a crippling blow.
We do enjoy
Celebrant,
dealing
no
crippling
cripples.
blows.
No Wrathborn. Let's see her fight us without an army. Crow, are you there?
Somewhat. I tracked the Celebrant through a portal into swirling darkness.
A gateway to the Ascendant Plane.
As I said, swirling darkness. Learning in Strixtown, studying how it moves through these realms. It's like a shark cutting through black water.
Keep an eye on it.
I can do more than that.
Yeah, we know you can, cause you got some powers. It is technically your home. This is your home. Ooh, opening door. All right. And that's the crazy thing about this, cause it's like, when's the last time anyone has been around here? When was the last time it really explored the Dreaming City? Now, I guess it would make sense that, you know, people explored the Dreaming City. The new people have explored it, but for the people who've already done it, there's no reason to come back here. Oh, he's a tough one. Oh, he's probably tough because we need to defeat one of these. There we go. Oh, get out of here. What?
Head back into the Ascendant Plane. But it left
Do we
something behind.
shoot it?
Told you I tagged
Oh!
it. That's residual energy, a blood trail. Destroy it, and the essences in your lure should reopen the portal. Celebrant seeks to bring more territory under Zivor Wrath's control. Be quick. She will not be pleased with trespassers.
oh, he's super tank. Like, absolutely. I was like, oh, he's not doing any, we're not doing any damage. Okay.
We made it through the portal back to the Dreaming City. No sign of the celebrant. Crow, where are you?
At your coordinates, walking the other side of the same coin. The way I see it, as long as we're in both planes, it has nowhere to hide.
Celebrant sighted.
Do your thing.
This isn't working. We can't truly damage the celebrant without reclaimed light.
Hold tight, I'm on it.
We flushed them out of the ascended plane and into the open.
I just shot them until they ran, but I like the way you put it better.
Come on. Now is not the time for really slow reload speeds. I don't know if this is if we die and it'll like pick up where we left off. So I'm trying to be careful not to trying to be careful not to die. There we go. Hey, I do like this fight mechanic though. I do like, hey, you need to shoot the ascended orb in order to travel through it. So I'm guessing the other one's right there. What a way to stop a fall just by meleeing, and all of a sudden, conveniently, it's like, yeah, you stopped your fall.
They were rat strikes where 7th and first pushed through the veil and entered the Dreaming City. Has she no ambition of her own?
No ambition. Yeah, I'm assuming it works like the other Wrathborn. You die, you start over. Right. So I'm just trying to be just a little more cautious. There we go. Okay, there's the knight. I kind of want to wait till like we get to like a final stand to where we can use our super.
Stop the bleeding enemy. We can't
Okay,
get through.
respawn restricted, so we're gonna use this. That's what we're gonna do there. Wonderful. Oh, we got champions as well. I think just that one. Their companions are trapped in the ascended plane with the celebrants, and they're already lost.
Like Sakura.
The portal closed, but maybe there's enough hive magic left in the lure to activate some other way through.
Oh. I was supposed to say, what? That's the end?
I hope you can hear this.
Ascendants.
Turned it around on us. The hunter becomes
Oh.
the hunted.
I was about to say, wait, I know there's a thing there.
Listen, if things get ugly for us in here, just know it's not your fault. Everything I did
Damn,
because I
Warlock
wanted
still does decent damage to bosses. Yeah,
for letting me have a
because
choice.
Warlocks are it. Oh, bro, stop with the dramatics. Thank you for allowing me to be myself and to have choice. Well, yeah. Ooh. Okay. Ascendant challenge, which isn't really an
We're in the
ascendant
ascended
challenge.
plane. Do you read us?
Nothing in here I can't handle.
What are you talking about? The celebrant broke your legs and put you into an abyss.
Nothing I can't handle. The high celebrate's just up ahead, and I think I have a plan.
Well, you mind letting us in on this plan? out. Is he gonna pop up here or? Aww. Yes, for Sagira.
Are you keeping it busy? I'm nearly at the portal where you came in.
You're leaving?
Like Osiris said, the Celebrant must die in the Ascendant Plane, and you're our best shot at making that happen. He's leaving. I survived by watching the world around me and learning from my light. I studied how that thing creates those portals.
Oh, well, there's the second.
It's going to create another portal.
Like, there's the second barrier.
Get out, Guardian, but if I block the exit, it burns.
Come on. There we go.
Bro, a portal.
I see it. Now, finish it.
Hey!
The High Celebrant of Zigua Wrath is no more. How did you manage that?
Crow destroyed its portal from the other side when it tried to escape. I knew he wouldn't really leave us.
No, never. Oh, bring its head, would you? Spider will want proof when you come to collect.
Okay,
It's been an
interesting.
honor, Guardian.
It's been an honor, Guardian. And then we collect its head. That's actually a really nice fight. That was. I enjoyed that fight. You know, you had to shoot the portals to switch. Oh, here we go.
It's done. So it is. So it is. All right, Guardian. As promised, you can have a prized bauble from my lair as compensation for your heroics.
Heroics.
I want him.
Cute. Real funny.
You said anything in the room.
Oh, you really want my little bird? Fine. You can have him. Fly away. And get the hell out of my lair.
He is mad. He is pissed. But that is okay.
Now what? I don't know. It doesn't feel real. Freedom. Why would you do this for us?
Because you're a guardian.
Aw. Are we gonna take him to the tower? What's gonna happen? Oh, we're flying. We're flying somewhere. Like, don't tell me he's just gonna stay in like Spider's area. New quest activity available. Well, let's see. It's gonna go back to Spider and be like, yo, hey, I know I just took, you know, your little bird away, but are you gonna sell me some wares still, you know? Like, I still need my stuff. You know, let's see. Okay, so the crow's still there.
Land on my doorstep. I'm eager to continue our friendship.
A deal's a deal, Spider says. Take what you came for and get out. Ascendant Hunter. Quest completed. Complete the coup de grace mission. Yep, I definitely knew that. I knew we would accomplish that. So if we go quest, let's do triumph. Yep, so finish that mission. What is
Tell them the
the
jewels are straight from the crystal barrows. It's the truth, as far as they know. Any news from my salvage team?
Then why is it not letting us claim the title if we finished everything? Kinda confused about that, but okay. Is there something I'm missing? Oh, okay. Discover all the lore books Discover all the lore book entries for a tangled web. And that's glory. That's an exotic quest. Are we supposed to use Hawkmoon to get all of that? Like,
Any news from
not sure, but we finished all of that, so I'm not sure why the seal is not unlocking. Okay.
Find my prices are.
That's something. We finished that. 61. Okay, hold on. 17, 20. 21, 16, so it'd be 17, 18, 23. 23, and then we throw on, so it'd be 23, 18, 28. This piece will do a lot better for us. So basically, what I'm getting at is I'm going to fully upgrade this. Only because I have everything I need.
My scouts.
23, 18. But here's the thing.
Dispatch the salvage team.
Maybe I'll keep this as my, as like a PvP thing, because basically what I was saying was if I were to do this and then throw on the intellect mod on it, this is actually a really nice rolled item. I wouldn't be able to use it for PvP because the loadouts that I use, I need to have everything on it. I need to use up all its points for it. I can't add in this intellect mod for it. But I want to hang on to this because it is a nice one. It is a really nice roll. I just don't know what I'm going to use it for in the future. All right, let's see. What happens if we go to the tower? Is there anything in the tower that, like, Ikora or anyone will say? I mean, probably not. No one has said anything about it. But I'm just wondering, like, you know, like what was that? What was that lore book that it was saying? The lore, darkness. No. Oh, we need to do this so that we can get our final penguin. Well, I think it's the final penguin. Disregarding stasis, Durus, and egress. A tangled web. Okay. No.
Underway.
Okay, so we'll pick that up.
Let's see.
Items here.
Let's
So I'm guessing once we leave and once we reboot,
Need
Eva
something
won't be
new?
there anymore.
Eververse has it.
Yeah, because
Don't
weapon
know where
ornament
my
for
uncle finds
lament.
these things.
Well, don't mind if we do. That will we would definitely go ahead and grab that. What's this for? Is this for? That's for Lunafaction. Okay.
Hello, Guardian. Welcome.
Hello, Rahul. Hey, who's that? Guess we'll get the bounties for homeboy over here.
Don't try to impress me in the Crucible. Just get better. With this, I acknowledge your power, Guardian.
Okay. So then I guess we can just go ahead and detector opening shot. There's a better roll that we can get. I just like turning in just like one, and then you know we'll see. But we finished the quest, so we finished the quest on all three of our characters. So I guess we can just grind for we just grind for like Iron Banner tokens. If that's, you know, what we need, I guess. Not sure, but sure.
One of our brightest returns. Careful with that. All battles are just a lesson, Guardian.
And we're gonna go ahead, pick on up this one.
Are you ready?
A prepared soldier is a victorious soldier.
4, 5. Let's see, because I know. I mean, I know Osiris is like over where Ikora is, and I feel like Crow is going to move over to the tower definitely next season. He's definitely moving over to the tower next season, but I don't know if he's going to move there as, you know, like the assistant to like Osiris, if he's like, because I feel like this preparation here, this is going to play some, this area is going to play some importance next season, now that Osiris is like the not the advisor, but he's going to be helping Zavala.
Anything you need?
No, I just hate that. Like, if there's really nothing important for Ikora, why are you making her interactable? Like, literally, there's really nothing important that Ikora serves. Oh, that's definitely something we need.
I think that's a good one.
I'll need a couple of raid banners. I'm completely out.
I think that's a good one.
I think that it takes way too long for us to get these banners, but you know, that's just my personal opinion.
Oh, nice choice.
That should be enough. We don't do entirely too many raid banners, but you know, enough is enough. But see, and then that's the whole thing. That's my thing about, especially about like the whole, you know, everyone's really, I mean, not complained about it, but everyone has their critiques. My thing about that is that even for the person that does not play this game, you know, the amount of time that, you know, I would play it, or that, you know, majority of the base plays it. This is the, like, we just experienced the end of the season in 30 minutes. You know? Like, we still got a couple more, we still have a couple more weeks before season 2 starts. Like, unless you're telling me there's still something else that's supposed to be going on, you know, that's it. That is this. Okay, so what we're gonna do, what was there? Oh, just found it. I was like, oh, there's a quest.
Come take a look.
There is a quest, you say, but there's no quest. There's never been any quest. This is just a myth. Let's do one last, we're gonna do one last Crucible match. One last glory match. And then hopefully we're gonna win. and then we'll end on Mythic 2. And then we're gonna call it there as I get ready for work and all that good, good stuff there. Okay. Hunt was super fun. I'm just going through the going through some of like the different critiques and everything, or like different like social media, how what people are saying about it. And I'm like, a lot of people are like, oh, it was a good one. Think that it's supposed to unlock something, but it hasn't. So we'll see. Okay, I'm sure there's, again, I am sure there are other Guardians to do a freelance glory survival match, one last one, you know? Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it, Alarm. Yes, we're supposed to be up, but okay, well, we hit 3 out of 6. I'm like, come on, please. Slowly but surely, we'll find one more. All right, well, here's the thing. I'm going to call it here because the last thing I really want is for them to find a sixth person. They find us a sixth person, but because I have, morning meetings and everything, I don't want to be put into an awkward situation. So I'm going to call it there. But thank you guys so much. There was a cutscene with Osiris and Zavala and the Cabal in the tower that was previewed. So I wonder if there's more to the season or if that's the end of the season event. I think that cutscene, I know what cutscene you're talking about. I think that is going to the beginning cutscene of next season. I don't think it's going to be this season that we see that, but next season we're going to get more into that. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had a lot of people just on everywhere, liking the stream, throwing me follows and everything. Thank you so much. The next time we will be live is Friday morning, same time, 6 o'clock. Not entirely sure what we're gonna do. I know, before we're doing, Marvel's Avengers and trying to see what's going on with the Tachyon Rifts. If I still do not I'm trying to get some of the more tedious trophies done off stream so that when we go on stream we can again celebrate the whole oh, we reached 150, we got an Avenger, we got the platinum trophy, and we can figure out what's going on with the Tachyon Rifts. But the problem is they don't provide an in-game counter of how many hive missions you've done, and hive missions aren't simple 5-minute completions. They are actually take super long. So I'm still trying to figure that out and everything, but if not, of course we'll hop back onto Destiny and figure out something to do. Earlier this morning I did the I played Crucible without a HUD and a radar, so I'm thinking maybe I want to do something like that, HUDless PvP, spend a whole day and kind of just tank everything, tank our KD, but I feel like it'll be super fun. And there's one of those crazy kind of lessons, forget your eyes, use your ears, some sort of dojo crazy madness thing, but we'll figure it out. And then of course Friday evening we'll have our chip carving stream, chillax, our chill stream as I like to call it. But yeah, I've been posting a lot of the things that we've been working on, and a lot of people have said they've said that I've improved and they like it. So yeah, if that's something that sounds interesting, that's Friday at 8, but we will be live Friday at 6 o'clock for more gaming. But I'm gonna go ahead, call it there. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.